Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Welcome back to Streaming Rainbow. This is Guild Fantasmagoria Reincarnation. We are playing a game of Bound by K. Ramstack. It is a no dice, no masters game. We're just playing with a good old stack of these little things, playing cards. Boom. I just dumped all of the playing cards on my lap. Give me a second. Anyway, this is the third installment of this series. It is a semi-anthological anthology. Uh, we kind of take inspiration from one game of Bound and try to reform it into another story we can tell you in the next episode. So, the last episode, we were two brothers in a labyrinth, and we decided at the end of that episode, we would be on a night train. Two wealthy Southern socialites, a mother and a daughter this time. I think it's going to be so much fun. So, without further ado, before we get into play, let's introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Cam. You can use any pronouns to talk to me or talk about me. Just don't be mean about it, I guess. Or you could be mean about it if you like to be mean. And I say it's okay first. So, I don't know. DM me later. But you can find me on the internet. I do some things and stuff right now. Actually, depends on, this is filmed in the past, people. I don't know when this is going to come out, so maybe there's a number of products. Search me up.
Nothing to
I don't
plug.
know. This is great. This is going great. Who are you? Who are you, my friend, playing this game?
Hi, I'm Keller. I use he, they, she pronouns. I really like eggs.
Damn, that was so much better than mine. You just
Also
really
play
like
Clementine.
amazing.
Just keep it short. I just like to keep
I
it
love
short.
it.
Simple.
I love it. Keep it short and
Simple.
simple. Okay, so
Simple.
great. We've done introductions. Before we ever play a game, I think it's important to establish some safety and bravery tools. And you are part of this, so why not tag along with us? So without further ado, let's just explain kind of what we're using and go over how we want to be safe and how we want to be brave. First of all, we will be implementing lines and veils. Just a quick overview of that. Lines are hard lines, things that are not present in the game, in the world, in the story at all. Uh, Veils are things that maybe are not touched upon with such a harsh uh, hand, or things that maybe need a little like care when these subjects come up. They're a little more nebulous, a little more complex and personal than just like a hard line. Don't want to see that. So those are the things we talk about more. First off, I have some hard lines. Those are child harm and sexual violence or harassment of any kind. Do you have any hard lines, Keller?
Those are almost always my two hard lines. I have no other hard lines today.
Okay, let me think. Yeah, I don't think I have any others either. Veils. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't think I have anything that I want veiled or any other content that I'm uncomfortable with right now.
I have one today, just based on
Okay.
the play that I've been getting ready to work on. It's pretty intense, and so I just need some work around this topic right now. Is stillbirth,
Okay. Heard.
other types of like pregnancy issues, of like major pregnancy related trauma.
Okay. Heard. I think
Uh,
honestly,
yeah,
that's really good to touch upon. Like I think like the villain, the vampire on the Western Express could like encroach into those themes.
yeah,
Especially like undead and stuff in that. So like if like saying that is a veil,
Yeah.
um, what tools like or what do you not want to talk about? How like hard do you want to go into the topic? Like what
Yeah,
do you
for
feel
sure.
comfortable doing?
So the most important thing for me for like these types of check-ins is just the saying of it is the most important part, I think,
Okay.
because then it it allows for um, uh, me as the performer to be more ready for those topics as they come in. You know, why content warnings really help me in theater specifically. Um, so uh, uh, and like having safe words and things like that often makes it less likely that I will need to use them. You know, which is super helpful for me. So a lot of the work has just been done for me to feel comfortable. And also, like I'll throw in, I'll use the term button sometimes when I need a quick pause of like, oh, button, let me just take a breath real quick and then come back into it. Or, um, uh, 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 as far as in the moment of things. But I think as far as ways to manage the topic, I just think fairly gruesome descriptions of stillbirth is kind of the main thing that I think I wouldn't want to experience today.
Okay.
Um, but if the story needs it, I can just take a breath before that happens or after.
Okay. So just like
It would be okay.
openness around the topic and not
Yeah,
being too gruesome or graphic with it.
yeah, yeah,
Heard.
yeah.
Understood. Uh, do you have anything else?
I do not.
Okay, great. So just to go over, hard lines are no child violence and no sexual violence or harassment. And our veil is on stillbirths, just to have openness and conversation about the topic, and also not to be gruesome or graphic in describing it.
Hell yeah.
Hard. Awesome. Amazing. I don't know why I said hard. I meant to say hell yes. Now, we've established those at the top, but at any point in the game, like things can trigger us. So I don't believe either of us really check the chat. We're very much like one-on-one communicating. So either saying X or putting up an X on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also something I really like to do is if an X is called, if something is like stricken from the game or we want to like go back and redo something, I like to like give space to talk about why. Or because like some people just like need that moment to
Yeah.
talk through like what's happening with them, and some people really just don't want to talk about it at all. So I'd like to say like I give space to talk about it. um yeah, so those are those tools, and usually I'll do like tools in the chat, but this is like I think just between us. And usually those are like the X that you can throw up in the chat, or an O, which if we want to check in, that is what that means. If you see something like that is harsh on somebody, you would like type O in the chat and they would type O back. And then there's an N, which is like getting close to a veil. This is a topic that is making me uncomfortable. So that is a way, like in the moment, to
The
establish a
letter
veil.
N.
The letter N. And these are all like chat commands. So if we want to implement them, I can keep. I'll keep my
I don't have to
chat
open my
open.
arms.
You could do it with your arms too. I might. Yeah, and that'll distract me. I'll ask, what the fuck? Uh, cool. Those are those. Now, I think I like to say like bravery and safety tools. Or sorry, safety and bravery tools. Because I think that the whole the whole point of like doing this like is not to be safe. It is not to be safe or
Yeah.
to even be comfortable in like a larger sense. It's to play. Um, and that is why it is brave to establish boundaries and establish things that like make us uncomfortable. So with that being said, if the first thing that is important is play, are there any things that we want to definitely touch upon? Like things that we
Oh,
do want in this setting, like goals.
vampire. Vampire.
Definitely want to. Now, what is there? Yeah, just vampire in general. Do we like want to see the vampire? Because I was kind of
Vampire.
thinking one of my goals or like one of my wants is that we never see the vampire.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Question for that. We never see Cameron Keller. Never see the vampire. Clementine, Delilah never see the vampire. You know what I mean? Characters are perform. Or yeah. Like, are we giving ourselves a challenge
Oh,
as
oh,
writers,
I
basically, to create the vampire by the whole of like by describing everything around it, or are we challenging
yes,
it?
the first one. I don't.
Okay.
I think maybe Clementine or Lila might see the vampire, but I don't think us as narrators or you as audience members ever like catch a description or see it in your mind's eye unless you make it up
Sweet.
yourself.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah.
Another like thing that I want to explore, not really like fix, but this concept of sustainable horror. Uh, I think horror movies and like horror, like as a genre, loses or like media in the horror genre loses momentum uh, as it like goes forward because we start to adapt to the base reality of like what we're supposed to be afraid of, and then it becomes like a decision to either succumb or like overcome. So I don't know. I don't want to say, hey, that needs to be fixed. We need to find a way to build more momentum of scary. But I do want to keep aware of it so that we may discuss it later or something, or maybe I can muse about it. Those are mine.
I'm not very familiar with the horror genre,
I
so
wasn't I wasn't like
I brought,
super I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies growing up. So it has like been something that has been like other to me, and slowly
yeah.
like starting in like college I like start to like see a couple, see a few. Um so it has been this like I am constantly searching for a movie that will scare the pants off of me, like make me like super afraid. But I haven't found that yet. Like the closest I've got to are like
Oh,
Hereditary and the newer version of it, specifically like the first scene with Georgie. Spoilers. Uh, and then recently I saw Nosferatu, which is why like vampire is very much triggering this for me. And like while it wasn't that like on the same level, like visceral, like ooh, that was scary. It was it had a lot of like horror momentum in the beginning of the film. Um
oh.
and then I just got like used to like the tools that they were using of the film. So I don't know. Maybe that's just like innate. Maybe it's keep it short and sweet. Maybe it's change it up. I don't know. I just want to like be cognizant of it and keep it in the mind.
Yeah.
Are there any hopes, dreams, goals, wants?
Something will happen.
Something will happen. I also have another question for you.
Yes.
This is a no dice, no master game, right? And the last two sessions, the last two games, I kind of gave like a little narration of what I thought the setting was.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
No.
You don't want to do that. Okay, that's fine.
I
That's
can.
totally fine.
I can. But
You don't
no.
have to. I just want to give you the opportunity because I think that's part of it. Right? You don't
Good
ever
next
have to
time.
do it if you don't want.
Good next time.
But the
I
point
just
of No Masters is this is collaborative. So if you just want,
no. I just mean like if I'm doing things out of my character, I just need to think about it. So I could. No, not today.
Not today.
I'll do it next time.
I think I kind of want to do it next time.
Okay. Then
I
I'll
have a
do it today.
surprise. So, Keller, I have a surprise for you, and it's going to come at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Cool.
Is it scary?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna tell you what we've been doing finally at the end of the episode.
Okay.
But for now, let's just play this game.
Sweet. I'll describe the setting, the
Oh,
environment.
okay. There you go. Okay,
But
cool.
first, we should go over really quick how the game is played. We will both draw a card, one at a time. It'll look like this. I'm drawing from my discard pile. Stuff out. Oh, this one, the one that I dropped earlier, right? And then if it, we will, based on the cards that are drawn, we will either get a destination token, an unravel token, or no token. And that will determine as well the prompts that we use to move on to the next scene. If we get 5 unravel tokens, then our bind is unraveled. If we get 5 destination tokens, we make it to our destination. And if we don't get any tokens, I'm free till 5.
Perfect. There's a cutoff no matter what.
Cool. Sweet. Am I missing anything for how the game goes?
I think just one more thing. Last time we played the game, we did not reshuffle the deck. We were playing with kind of like half the deck, but we kept the discard pile outside of the deck that we used prior. Keller's might be in the same order, but I have reshuffled our jokers in. And how we're going to do the jokers is we've established that one of the jokers is a naughty joker and one of the jokers is a good joker. The good joker is a perfect match scenario, and the naughty joker is an unravel token scenario joker. Other than that, I'll be keeping track of unravel tokens using my very special. I think that's
Yellow.
butter quartz. Butter quartz. That's what it
Ooh,
is. A butter quartz D10.
yeah. And I will be keeping track of destination tokens with other dice from my box of dice.
Okay, don't
Looking
act
for
like
the
you're more I just picked mine up off of the mess of dice
hey,
on my
hey,
table. Don't try to one up
I got the
me
box right here.
with weirdness. This is impossible. Hey,
This one,
you know,
this one has watermelon.
hey, well, that's it. Hey, you want to drop who made that die, singular.
Oh yeah, I got it off of TikTok shop. Yeah, from like Dream Dice or Dream Dart something. I'm not gonna tell the rest of the story though.
No. I was just saying, plug the person who made the art.
Oh, I can't remember for sure. I think it was Dream Dice or Dream Darling was the name that came into my head. But yeah, I got off the TikTok shop, which I've never
Amazing.
bought anything off of there before. It's been fine.
We'll find
That's
it
Wish
out.
Spot.
We'll find it out.
Yeah,
It'll be great.
yeah. I'll put it in the
Okay,
description.
we'll put it in the description.
That
Okay.
would be awesome if we could do that for all of our dice.
Oh my God, I would.
Plug who made them.
That that would be just a that okay. So that's why I think credits were made, like rolling credits at the end of a film.
If people will be like, "Oh, it'd be great if we could like
We should
say
give a.
who helped."
We should, yeah. Hey, look, join the Patreon when we make one, and we'll send out a playbill of
Of all
everybody who put this together,
of all the
including
little like game
every
shops we've been
single
to over
person
the
who's
years of
ever made
podcast.
a die that I have bought. That that's in the playbill. That's our first
Cool.
Patreon.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The world.
You know the only way to start this game, right?
Hmm? What is?
Don't it's to draw a card.
Oh, it's to draw.
Yeah,
3, 2, 1, go.
I know what I got,
The 5
but
of
you know what?
clubs.
You know what I'm not gonna do, Keller?
What?
I'm not gonna show it to you until you give us your description. Where are
Okay.
we? What's happening?
The first thing is not what we see, it is what we hear. That moving beat, that 1, 2, that shuffle, that blues shuffle of a train. The first thing we hear as we move through this world, pushing through the landscape, exploring, moving, changing the world around us as we make so much sound and fury. Shakespeare. Uh, all the animals a mile away run from the sound that we create as we are on this huge passenger train traveling through a desert area, the occasional tree, quite a few cacti, and many, many bushes, right? A lot of plant life, but none of it seems to have been growing for that long. Um, we are on an express train through the Western world, you know. Maybe it's Northeast Texas. Um, yeah, I like Northeast. You feel good about Northeast Texas?
I love geography.
Northeast Texas. We are on the Western Express, a new train, a brand new train, the peak of human technology. Yeah, benches 2 people wide. Used to be there were only chairs for single people because the trains were too small. But now we've got 4 seats on each row of trains. Uh, we have some of the trains are just for passengers, just for sitting, just for comfort. The train you find the 2 of us on is perhaps a train nearest the back, farthest away from the smells of the engine. The car nearest the back, farthest from the smells of the engine, where there are very comfortable beds with headboards on the train. Sheets soft as dirt. I was going to say silk, but I don't know if silk had ever been imported at that point to the Americas. Uh, uh, the year is 1840. The peak of human technology is on this train. We find the comforts of uh, rolling wheels on bar carts traveling through there. They even swivel, as the swivel chair has probably been fairly recently invented. I think Thomas Edison made the swivel chair, or was that Jefferson? I don't care. They're both awful
They
people.
probably
One of them
stole the
seems
idea from somebody they hired
yeah.
or never paid.
Um, oh, absolutely. Um, yeah. Uh, uh, we hear this as you watch 2 people in sort of a car 2 down from those beds uh, uh, at the bar, enjoying our time together as we look to the left and the sun begins to set and draw.
Oh, oh, you know what I got.
What did you
I
got?
got the good Joker.
The good
If you tell,
Joker.
I put a little G on it. It's backwards, but yes.
Amazing. So that's 1 destination token. Where's my
Yes.
watermelon?
We're starting off good. Only
They're not
one way to
great.
go from here.
And that's a perfect match, right? Or is that not?
That's a perfect match. Yes.
Perfect match. So we haven't had a perfect match yet in this series. If I'm correct, please correct me if I'm not. I
I can't
believe that
correct
is
you.
we read through all of the options and we play the scene that we choose from the perfect matches. Correct?
Hmm. Yes.
By description
Yes.
of the game, this is supposed to be the main time that you role play, but we've been doing a lot of role playing.
And I think that's okay. We're playing a game. That's our first priority. Um, yeah. So if the rank and the suit match decide together which one of the prompts in the perfect match section you will answer. This is a scene of great tension and high drama, and afterwards, you will need to change, modify, or write a new core belief for each character, which needs to include the other character. So, right off the bat, whatever we thought these characters were going to be, they are no longer that. And I think that's cool as hell.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, so there were not two options. We just have your option. So I think that's the little jokery part about this perfect match. Oh shit. No, never
Oh,
mind. There's just five options. It literally
there's
just
just five.
meant
Yeah.
pick
I
any
drew
of
the five
them.
clubs. I like the fifth one for this.
I like that too. Okay. I like that. I like that we don't have. I like that because it was a Joker. We're not reading through them. We're just going to go with what the cards decide.
Yes.
So, five. One of them wishes this journey could have been with someone else. The other knows it. How does this longing manifest? What happens when this resentment reaches its peak? This is a perfect match.
Yeah.
So,
A couple of them are pretty brutal.
that's wild. I love it. So, let's
Yes.
talk this through. First of all, this journey. Uh where are we going first of all?
Austin.
We're going to Austin, Texas. To
Yes.
do what? What is the journey for?
Am I supposed to tell you my one core belief, by the way?
Do not tell me your core belief, but I
Okay.
think we both know either why we're going to Austin or
Yeah.
the explanation you gave as to why we're going to Austin.
Um, I think we are going to Austin for a funeral.
And I do not know this funeral.
Ooh, what was the number five? It was one of them wishes the journey could have been made with someone else. Oh,
So I'm going to
yeah,
guess
you do know who it is. It's for your my husband. It's for your dad.
my father has died. Okay.
Yeah, that works for that.
That's insane. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Incredible. We are going to the funeral of my father, going to bury him. One of them wishes this journey could have been with someone else, and I do not think that is me.
Oh, really?
I think in this time, you are the only family I have. My
Yeah.
father has died. My support has died. My foundation, my money has died.
Right. Yes. I think that Clementine wishes this was journey was with someone else. How does the longing manifest? I think it manifests in oh, Delilah, you know how much your father wanted you to look pretty for these types of events. Can you please go put on a nicer dress?
Well, well, mother, of course.
Yeah.
I I thought this might be appropriate since it was the last one he bought me.
But it's so dark. Go put on something nice and breezy. We're, we're in a bar after all. We're having a party.
Oh,
Uh, Clementine is,
well,
is having a drink at the bar, surrounded by men.
you see, this is Lila. Lila Ann Prescott. She is in a long black dress with little white flowers um, that are sewn into the mid-length sleeves that go over her elbows but reveal just a little bit of her forearms. So when you need to wear gloves, everything covers everything. It has a high collar, and she is wearing a very expensive silver necklace with dark blue sapphires inlaid into them. She has matching earrings. Her hair is done up and covered in like a very tasteful half bonnet that has a veil that she has thrown back. She is without a doubt in mourning, and if she didn't care so much about her makeup and how she looked, she would let the tears that are welling up in her eyes fall down, but she is perpetually in a state of about to cry at this moment. I just It's not a happy occasion, Mama.
Can you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's not a happy occasion, Mama.
Uh, uh, Clementine stands up from the bar, walks over, makes some passing joke as she's leaving the table or the bar that she was sitting at, which is received very well from all of the suitors around her. And as soon as she is out of like that, of all of them looking at her face, the smile that was never present in her eyes goes away. Her face darkens. Um, she knows how to work a crowd so well and knows exactly when she doesn't need to have that turned on. She takes a couple steps towards you, puts links her arm into yours and starts walking towards the end of the bar cart, um, wearing a white dress with little blue sort of accents, um, and having like a parasol, an umbrella over her arm. She's in a train. There's no reason to have an umbrella. She does not need this. Um, Everything is just these pieces of the costume that she is wearing. Whether or not it is necessary, it tells the right story. As she pulls you aside, Delilah Ann Prescott, it doesn't need to be a happy occasion for us to have a good time. Now, I've made some lovely new friends on this train, and I suggest you do the same. You're a woman now, and you cannot let these types of uh, emotions take over. What would your father say if he were here? And I sort of start escorting you to the to like our bedchambers.
Delilah is not one to talk back to her mother. Uh, the comments that she made at the bar about being in black to mourn her father were just as just about as big as an outburst as any outburst Delilah has ever made towards her mother. Uh,
Yeah.
to this woman in a white dress with blue accents, this woman who can work any crowd, who, when she enters the room, it is like all the energy is sucked towards her, is this young girl's idol. No, she's not a girl. She's 19.
Yeah.
I have a
Uh,
question for Keller, really
yeah.
quickly. Uh, what other color besides blue and white is Clementine wearing?
The red lipstick,
The red lipstick.
bright red lipstick. And then
Okay.
maybe like some jewels, some type of jewelry, like a bracelet that has red on it to match, right? But it all sort of centers towards the blood red mouth.
Okay. So Lila's going to come out of her cabin, and she is in a it's a beautiful white kind of sundress with red flowers that populate like most of it, covering up a lot of the white. You can tell that the flowers kind of like are like sewn on or like part of the white fabric and kind of cascade down. It is almost uh like very Spanish, um, very like if the cut was different, could be worn by a showgirl, but it is just the right length, does not reveal too much. The neckline is exactly where it needs to be. Her hair is now pulled back, not up, but is braided and lies down. It is not as long as her mother would like, but Lila's hair does not grow as fast or as thick as her mother's. Maybe that's because of stress. Maybe that's because of a certain standard that she has to keep up. Doctors won't, psychologists won't know that until many, many years later. But her hair is down. It is in like beautiful curls and a couple, like a few braids in the back. A crown braid. Yeah, she has a little crown braid. Um, that has one blue flower sticking out of it. Her nails are um, all done. Oh no, that wouldn't take. Never mind. Her nails perfectly manicured from before, but she has kept on her earrings, removed her large necklace, has a small chain around her neck with a little locket that has a blue stone in it. So she is now kind of wearing the opposite of what her mom is wearing. Just a lot of like red and little blue accents.
Yeah. Um, uh, Lila walks out. Um, Clementine is sitting down on a bench near the door, tapping the foot, getting a little bit frustrated at how long this is taking uh, for this change to occur. And then
I think it took so
she
long because Lila put on the same lipstick as her mother, almost walked out, and then realized that's not a good move, and then took off the lipstick.
yep. As Lila comes out, Clementine looks at her, and you watch her frustration melt away, um, and then come back just for a second of this searching up and down, looking for something wrong. Um, and it's the quick check that I think Lila is probably fairly familiar with of how many times Clementine has sent her back to the room to change again. Um, and then you watch that second bit of frustration fade into pride, immense pride, as she stands up, takes her daughter's arm again, this time uh, uh, having grabbing Lila's hand inside her own like elbow pit, so that now she is the one leading, as opposed to trying to make it look like she's being led. Um, oh, Delilah, you just look ever so perfect. Now let's go find some new friends for you. And starts to lead her there. And on the way back to the bar cart is like very much pointing at things on the horizon that are pretty and beautiful, and also just 100% trying to make just the inner monologue of Clementine right now is, "Oh, Delilah, won't you please smile? It'll be so much happier for you if you do." Not saying that out loud, but is very much just wanting her to laugh and smile.
This is probably one of the best moments in Lila's life, is when she sees the little moment of pride on her mom's face, and her mom takes her and leads her by the hand. There's a moment, I think, when Lila forgets about the reason that they're on the train.
Yep.
And in that moment, I think Lila realizes she has some of her mother's magic. She's always been next to Clementine. And so the people who gravitate towards them have always seemed like they are friends or prizes of her mother's. But in this moment, Clementine is starting to realize, oh, when my mother is away in another cart, socializing with other people, and I am left alone, these people come to me. And I can say things that make them laugh. And I can toss my hair and make everybody stop talking for a second. I can look at somebody and laugh at them and make them like have that same expression in my face when I look at my mother looking at me with pride. I don't know if she remembers any of these people, but she definitely remembers this feeling.
Yep.
She does not drink, though.
Oh. Oh no. I think there's some Wi-Fi issues. Oh no. I think there's a lot of Wi-Fi issues. Hello, can you hear me?
You disappeared for a little bit and you came back. Yes.
Okay. Button. It also says uploading recordings on the bottom and no longer says recording.
Oh, that's not what it says for mine.
So, but it does say, okay, it does say that it's recording in the top left. So I assume it's fine.
Okay. It looks okay from my end.
Okay, perfect. Then I think we're okay. Um,
Okay.
yes. So there's been a minute where Clementine and Delilah have separated to do their own socializing, and I think Clementine can see Delilah starting to come into her own a little bit as a woman. Oh, I'm going away again. Well, you're frozen also, so I think it's okay. I'll keep talking. Um, and so I think there's this moment of for Clementine uh, uh, as she is just chatting people up, where every once in a while she just turns to her side to grab the strong arm that she expects to be there, and it is not. And returns to Delilah, finding her chatting up her own uh, crew of people of people that find her very charming. And I think she walks into that conversation um, saying something to the effect of like, "Oh, I see you've all met our dear little Delilah Prescott. Oh, isn't she just lovely? Oh no, darling, you've got a little bit of schmutz right there," or something like of there's something wrong with her face, and fixes her face in front of everyone, um, and then turns and makes her own joke to that crowd, standing just ever so slightly with her shoulder in front of Lila.
These are one of the moments that Delilah does not understand. I think she realizes that her mother is a lot more magnetic than she is, but she did not understand why everybody starts to pay more attention to Clementine. She didn't get the little trick with the face. She didn't get the one upping of the joke. It just always is. It is a fact of life that Clementine Prescott is always the center of attention in the room. And she even sucked Lila in. Lila felt honored that there was a little schmutz on her that her mother like decided to clean her up. She felt extremely embarrassed, not because of that it was in front of the other people, but that it was in front of Clementine. So like that kind of shuts her down a little bit. So she is very much like the demure in the corner. And there's something else that I think Clementine knows about and flashes on Lila's face. It's when the word schmutz is said.
Yeah,
Everything in Lila's body freezes. She clenches up. It is a visceral fear, like almost like on the edge of a panic attack, that something is on her that is unclean, that is dirty. Uh, and like she is unable to move until her mom like wipes off nothing, like just touches her face and pretends to wipe off the schmutz. Uh, I think that is something that Clementine will use to like shut Lila up. Is, hey, you have something on you. Oh, darling, there's a little like dirt on you, because it just completely like shuts her down from her core. There is nothing more debilitating to Lila than an unpleasant smell or uh, an uncleaned like surface, or God forbid something getting on her that she does not want on her.
yeah,
And I think that what happens when that resentment of Lila from Clementine reaches its peak is that Lila just is more enthralled with her mother, falls deeper into the spell.
wow, cool. Next card.
Oh, that was, yeah. Next card.
Three,
Ready?
two, one, draw. Yes. Ooh,
9
none
of
match.
clubs. What
King
did
of
you get?
Hearts.
King of Hearts.
What does it go
Okay.
to? It's mine goes because it's taller.
Yes.
Taller.
This is a no match. We get no tokens.
And I love tokens. Wait, no, where are the hearts? Oh, yes. The king. Oh, oh, oh. Okay.
Okay.
A few minutes after sunset, we have gone to sleep. We've gotten to bed. I think as we were leaving, Clementine uh, came back to that little circle of that little horseshoe of people you were in the middle of, and said something like, "Oh, Delilah, we simply must take care of that crease in your dress," and then uh, um, ushers you back to the bed. Uh, whatever evening rituals happen. As soon as we both lay down into the bed, Clementine is asleep right away, immediately. She's really good at sleeping. Um, uh, and within minutes, or here's the question: is Lila asleep by the time that Clementine starts to toss and turn and go, no, no, before she starts to scream?
Clementine is not asleep. In fact, Clementine is not in the cabin. There was somebody
Oh,
that.
Clementine?
Sorry. I forgot my name. Lila is not asleep. Lila is not even in the cabin. There is somebody she met at.
Okay.
I wanted to say somebody she met at the party, but somebody she had met earlier, a young man that has invited her to his his cabin. He was dressed like very fancy, like full tuxedo. He had rings on his finger, looked very wealthy, dashing, like dark brown eyes, not a hair on his chin, uh, curtain bangs kind of gelled backwards to look like very sophisticated. Seems like he is taking care for himself, but can take care of himself kind of vibe. Uh, and she is about to knock on his door when she hears the scream.
Cool. How do you wake up Clementine? Or how do you try to wake up?
Runs into the room. Door doesn't slam open because she's a lady. Um, doesn't want to touch her mother. But just shouts, "Mama, mama, wake up, mama, wake up, mama."
Um, what, darling? Delilah, what are you doing? I shoved Delilah as part of the waking up process. Uh, uh, or Clementine shoves Lila, and um, she like moves. She like gets shoved. I think it's all the way into her bed before Clementine stands up, starts to stand up slowly. It's like, what is going on? Why are you waking me up? Is something wrong?
You were calling out in your sleep. You were
Oh,
tossing and turning.
is
I thought
something
something
wrong?
was happening. You just
No.
having
What?
a nightmare, Mama.
As soon as like the fear of is something wrong with my daughter gone, you watch Clementine's eyes sort of start to look around a little bit. She almost falls back asleep. Uh, oh, I hope you can still hear me. The number's still going, so I'm just gonna. I think I just keep talking probably. And you watch her say, oh, "He was here. He was just here." What? What are you saying? Uh, and then she stands up and starts to just try to get back ready for bed again.
You have a question for me?
Right. I forgot how the format of this game works. Okay. Yeah. What? How does Delilah? How does Lila feel about the about how flustered Clementine seems?
It's
No.
extremely out of. Oh.
Why is Lila relieved that Clementine seems very out of it?
There's some part of Lila that thinks her mother is inhuman. There is some part of her mother that thinks her mother is. There's some part of Lila that thinks her mother is some sort of like God, and perfect example of everything. I think there's some comfort to her to learn that her mother could be as successful and as amazing as she is and still have moments where she is imperfect. I think Lila feels relieved because finally she is let into uh, a secret, let into like the inner circle of her mother, um, and like feels like very protective of her mother's weaknesses at this moment.
Cool.
Where do we? Okay. Uh, let's just. Okay. Recap. So I think we got 4
Yeah.
unravel, 4 destination tokens. Okay. And then we're just going to draw a card and
Ready.
see what happens. Are you ready?
Wait.
3, 2.
What? Wait a minute.
So this one's not a real one. It's actually just like the top card of a playing card deck. I actually, there we go.
I have the
I
9 of
get
diamonds. We
Ace
got
of
the same suit.
Diamonds. Okay, so the suit matches. So that is
Incredible.
a destination token. Okay, perfect. So how this is going to work is you got the 9. So 9 beats an ace. So you're going to go to the destination, read the 9 of diamonds, and then just like ask me some questions.
I want the suits. Okay, hearts. Down, down, down. No, not hearts. Diamonds. Okay. 9 of diamonds.
Yes. And then after this, we'll draw again, and then that will be the end one. And it's the good
9
one.
of diamonds. They ask you about a time before the fray, and you feel compelled. Ah.
No, Keller, no!
What am I
Don't read
doing
it.
wrong?
No! Don't read it. So that's what I'm not supposed to know. You will read that and then formulate the.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like just what we've been doing.
Want
You
to go one more
okay?
time, just draw fresh, see what we get, or do we want to still go because you heard a bit of the question? That's my bad for fucking up the format.
Oh, we can. Interest? No, no, no. It's okay. Hey, but like,
True, of
it's
course,
just
yeah.
the
I mean,
game we have been playing though, right? So it's like if we
yeah,
need to take
no,
another
I'm
break,
set.
we can
I'm
take
set. I'm
another
set.
break. Are you like
Um,
good? Okay,
sorry,
okay.
just for yeah. You want to draw, let's
We can
draw
draw
again.
again.
Just you heard the question, so we might as well. All right,
Okay,
ready?
okay. Three, two, yes. What?
Again, nothing. Four clubs.
Two of diamonds. Okay, so
Right,
same thing. No token is given. Oh, I don't. Oh, that's really interesting. Like
and
narratively,
then
of
just
like
not.
almost getting something and then it just being taken away. We almost were done. But so same thing's gonna
I've
happen.
got the higher
You're gonna
ranking
go.
card, so I'm doing that one this time. Just don't read it to you this time.
Yeah, just don't read it to me.
Clearly,
Yeah,
clearly.
exactly.
Uh,
It's fine. It's
and am I going?
perfect.
I'm going just
Yes.
to re-clarify. We're going to the ranks page this time, right? Yeah. Um, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Um, throughout our time on this quite lovely little train, it feels as though, you are so stuck in the loss of something. And I know the context. I understand that we are here for your father. I know. We're here for that lovely old man, but why can't you just think forward? Think past. I mean, everybody else here is having a lovely evening, having a lovely trip, having a lovely time. Is there any way that I can help you get to that same kind of peace? Sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna go grab my dog real quick. Because goddamn it.
Okay.
Classically, he needed entry in a place that he was not allowed. Anyway, um, is there anything I can do to help you get to some kind of calm serenity? Some kind of relaxed state just like everybody else here.
This is, I think, really interesting to Lila. Her mother has never like taken a vested interest in her like this. And this is, I think, her completely falling for whatever her mom is whatever Clementine is putting on in front of this crowd of people. And I think she'll probably just like very like timidly like look down. I think she'll look down. Well, I'm glad you asked, Mama. I've been a little weary. All this talking and meeting new people. Shouldn't we be taking the time to remember Daddy?
Your father, Clementine, is putting on a bit of a facade for the people around her. She's got her eye on this crowd of folks and is speaking a little louder than she needs to in this moment. It's half of a performance to show I still have reign here. I still have some modicum of control, but there is, in classic Southern woman fashion, I think about 30 layers of subtext underneath. Bless your heart. Spoken like a true Northern.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, it's... I think underneath a lot of this is some real care. But Clem looks at her daughter being shy, being timid, trying to shrink herself. And very quiet, for the moment quietly, just so that her daughter can hear. Your father was a very important man in my life, and I know you know that. But do you think Daddy would want you just moping every second? We are here with a dual purpose. Making our way to pay our respects, yes. But we're also moving forward. We are surrounded. Now she starts to pick up the volume. We are surrounded by some truly incredible, like-minded folks, people who like people. I know you like people, don't you, Lila? Yeah.
Well, of course, Mama.
And so while we are surrounded, we must put on the performance of a lifetime for them. Don't you think? Don't you think they deserve that?
Oh, Mama. I don't know. Is putting on a performance, is that supposed to be us having a good time?
Well, we can have that good time. I mean, like I said, as your father might want for us. He wouldn't want us to just sit and wallow and just... Excuse me, I'm saying 30 different things at once. Grief is a terrible thing, child. So don't get locked down by it. This is an incredible opportunity towards motion, towards people, towards something new. I don't know what. All I do know is that not only do we have the opportunity to be around all these lovely people, not only are we, by our circumstances, completely inundated by the throngs of the masses, but we are also given opportunity. We can think of your father. He's there, just not. Why suffer when he would want us to be happy, child? Why?
I mean, everything you're saying is making sense, Mama. But what exactly am I supposed to do?
For now, while we are here, we don't got much of a choice of who we are around. And thus, we are to put on some of our finery. Look nice. Be nice. Put on the persona that they expect of us. For when we do that, maybe, just maybe, we have the good time we're pretending to have. Maybe, just maybe, they don't ask no more questions of us. And maybe, just maybe, we are not forced to relive. If we walk around wearing our grief on our shoulders, everybody's gonna be asking, what happened? What happened? What happened? Do you want to relive it?
Not particularly. Okay. I think I can put on a performance, but it's not gonna be anything like what you could do. So you're telling me we just gotta pretend until it feels real?
It's a funny trick of the mind. Just pure silly happenstance. If you do it enough, eventually, your mind thinks it's true. So for us, we use that to our advantage. Are we hurting? I would say absolutely. Dreadfully. But you're saying you can't put on as good a performance as I can? You're not my daughter. Are you not my daughter? Are you not my
no.
flesh and blood?
Of course, but I am still very much learning from all you could teach me.
Well, then let's see what more we can learn, huh? With that, Clementine is going to wrap an arm in her daughter's and, straighten the spine a little bit in her already very constricting clothes of the era. And she's going to try to walk forward and lead her daughter and find some fascinating conversation, something that they can both dive into to really just forget for a second.
I think that this is probably Lila's safe space. It was like a big realization to hear Clementine say those words about faking the feelings until they become real, because that is what she does her entire life, especially to her mother. So I think there's like this spark of realization that's starting to like burn in Delilah. And I don't know how bright or contained or dangerously it will burn.
I think Clementine, through this conversation, is aiming for as open of communication as she can. throughout that little chat, and even quietly in little glances at her daughter in the midst of conversation that has absolutely nothing to do with anything, Clementine is focused in on, I am trying just like you are, and in a rare moment of solidarity with her daughter, as though she can be perhaps a bit frustrated, perhaps a bit standoffish, she is trying to remind her daughter, look, I'm doing it too. This is kind of the rule of law that we have to play in. And so for now, how can I best show you how? It's a rare moment for Clem to... I think Lila sees some of the most genuine moments of emotion from her mother through this. Some of the most... Although, like I said earlier, it is under 30 layers of subtext. It's still this moment of connection that has been building for probably years, but over the course of the loss of Clementine's husband, Lila's father, been brought to a boiling point. And so now she's trying to finally broach perhaps the hardest subject. Yeah.
I just realized I had the wrong mic on.
Well,
my audio like some fucking bullshit.
It was just a little echoey. We got there.
Interesting. I love that.
Fixable.
Now we're back. Amazing. Do you have another question for me, or did that answer the prompt?
I think that mostly answered the prompt. I think there's one more. What do you think? Do you think there's still, despite this moment of connection, do you think Lila would still be... Rather, let me put it this way. How helpful or unhelpful do you think the setting we are in is to Lila for this small little moment of connection between Lila and Clem? How do you think where we are being on this beautiful luxury train, how do you think that aids or harms Lila's ability to take on that lesson?
Oh, so that's really interesting because you just asked me two very different questions. To the first one, does it help or hinder the relationship? That's a very interesting one because I don't think it helps nurture it. But to the other question of does it help or hinder Lila's ability to follow this advice, it very much helps. This is like a becoming. And I don't think it's in like I don't want to say good, right? Because it's like, what the fuck is good and evil? But it is more self-serving than subservient. Some sort of like there is a relationship that is beginning to either like metamorphosize or like deteriorate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that answers my questions.
Okay, so what was the prompt?
The prompt: there is a bustling city, one that seems completely unaffected by the fray. How is it these people can continue their lives while the world around them is destroyed? What keeps them safe, and how long do they think it will last? What else about this place makes the two of them feel ill, and what is not what it seems?
Ooh. 1, 2, 3, drop.
Oh, fuck. Caught on this time.
7 of clubs.
Oh, 5 of clubs.
Oh, we did it again.
Oh my god. Okay, we're back in.
Okay, destination token up to 5. Good ending. Which is really interesting.
Oh my god. It's a miracle.
Don't die on me, Keller. Okay.
I'm trying.
Okay, so I'm going to read destination. So only the suit matched. Oh, wait. The suit matched, right?
Yeah, the suit match.
That's
yeah.
an
I had a
unravel
5
token.
out of 7 of clubs. Oh, that's an unravel token?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's a bad one.
That's bad.
That's bad. Silly me. Silly. Sometimes after a long game, my brain gets fried. Okay, so you don't get to look.
3,
that was
4.
a
I don't know what's going on.
clubs. Yes, you do. You know
Yes.
everything.
Well, I know what's
You
going
are
on.
of the
but I mean, I don't
universe.
get to know what you're doing right now.
Okay.
In the meta narrative of the meta narrative.
Beautiful. The silence of reading this prompt. Okay. This is a moment. There is, I think, lavish drinking and socialization on this cart of this train, this bar, these people. I think Clem and Lila do exactly what they set out to do. They woo these people. They are the life of the party. It's the middle of the night. Who does Clementine like feel drawn to?
That's a phenomenal question. I think, funny enough, Clem is drawn to not the first, seemingly wealthy man, but probably the last in the car. someone who sticks to the walls, someone who's been sort of floating around the edges of conversation, but also someone who reminds Clem of her dearly departed husband.
Is
Maybe.
Keep going.
No, keep going, please. Yeah, I think Clem's thrown off by it. I think it's almost like mid-conversation with 3-4 different people, or as passing between conversations, being the life of this party, seeing this person just out of the corner of her vision, just out of sight. And I think after maybe an hour or an hour and a half of bouncing between these simultaneously vapid but also, cover story conversations, these conversations that are meant to help her ignore what she's really here to do and where she's headed. She just keeps catching the sight of somebody who looks just enough like her husband that it's starting to scare her. And so I think that draws her to him eventually.
How long do you talk to him?
It's already pretty late at night. Honestly, Clementine may get caught with him for a while. Not some ungodly amount of time, not until the sun rises. But, I mean, we're adults here. Yeah, I think she stays with him for, at the very least, until maybe half or even 3/4 of the folk that have filled this car have slowly dispersed to their rooms.
And
the vast majority of folks are on their way out or gone.
And Clementine is not one to take her eyes off of the prize, is she?
By no means. Clementine is very much, I see something, I want something, I will have that something.
So what is big enough to distract you for a moment, to take you away?
From him or from the conversations that led me to him?
From him. From the prize.
I think the only thing big enough is Lila. Despite everything, despite our quibbles, if there was a moment where Lila was beginning to draw away, that would probably be the sign of, well, it was lovely to meet you, sir, but I must take care of my young daughter. And that would be as quiet of a way out as she could make. To be drawn away from such a prize.
Does it scare Clem when she can't find Lila?
Oh my God, yeah. Whoa. Yeah. If there is a moment where she can't find Lila, yeah, after having spoken to the man for so long and just being wrapped in conversation for so long, and suddenly her daughter's gone. This is where part of the facade breaks. All of that posture and poise, that grace, trying to float through a room instead of walk through it, all of that serving to avoid the grief of already losing her husband. If she can't find her daughter, she's going to quickly become frantic.
In this frantic state, where do you check first?
She's not immediately in the dining car, in the bar car that we have found ourselves in. Yeah, I mean, the first logical place is back at our room. And just trying to run back through the corridors, back to our simple, little, soft-ish bed, and see, maybe she just retired for the night. Maybe she's just being a little bit more intelligent than her mother about how she spends her evening. Maybe she's just going off to bed.
It seems like you are talking yourself out of spiraling, Clementine. What thoughts lead you to like a sense of disassociation?
I think the further Clem looks for her daughter, and the more that I get lost in that search, I think Clem depersonalizes, not derealizes. I think she watches her body from maybe 3 feet behind in this almost ghostly mental state. Here, 3 feet back, she's calm. 3 feet back, she's just watching. But up there, her body is still moving at this frantic high speed. And the only thing that's really going on back here is just the question of, am I going to end up fully, truly alone? If my daughter isn't here, if my husband's long gone. I think Clem runs back to her room. I don't think she finds Lila there, honestly.
No. Oh. Here's the thing about feeling lonely is it is so easy to want to fill yourself up with something. There is something that pulls on you. In this state, I feel like there is something susceptible about Clem. Clementine is pulled, and whether like you're still like witnessing this from 3 feet behind or not, but the question is, what do you feel, or like what do you hear? No. Better question. What does the voice sound like of the man who calls you from the back of this train?
I think that voice of that man in the back, I think it smells like tobacco. I think it sounds almost too close to the rattle of the train itself. I think it sounds heavy and full of enough gravel to fill up the Grand Canyon. Just this dark, broken bark of a voice that cuts through it all. I think that voice helps her mind catch up with her body. And I think she's more conscious as she makes her way to the back of the train.
What does the door look like that stands between Clementine and the cargo hold at the back of the train?
To call wrought iron steel pockmarked is like calling the moon cratered. It's the most obvious, but also the only descriptor. The door is rough, like 20 grit sandpaper. You can see each knob and pebble of grain, where the steel was hammered into shape and where it refused to move. The handle is this long, curved, almost looks like a repurposed railroad spike, just waiting at the side to be pulled down and slid aside. It is a blemished steel that is completely unlike the rest of the luxury that the rest of the train lives in, where the rest of the train at least tries to emboss itself, tries to allow itself to appear even slightly gilded in brass or in finer metal. This is the more honest representation of what the work it took to make this train looks like.
Why is it hard to open?
Aside from its heft, aside from its considerable weight, I think it's off kilter. Though it looks designed to slide, it looks as though the tracks at the top and bottom of the door are just slightly offset, leaving the door at just the wrong angle to be able to quickly open. It requires the majority of one's strength and focus to be able to move. Almost as if it was ripped closed by something much stronger, but still human maybe, but something so as though one of the engine room workers who is constantly shoveling coal, someone who works with their hands 24/7 to keep this train moving. It's as though they, in a fit of some rage, were able to slam that door and it just shifted ever so slightly. Like peaks of light could crack through at certain angles on the edges of the door.
What memories do the feeling of a dry cold and the smell of iron bring to Clementine's mind as she finally wrestles the door open?
I think the bitter winter cold of the cargo bay brings back a memory from when Clem was very young, maybe under 12, and the first long winter that she can really conceptualize. There was snow, yes, but that was in December. Then January rolled around, and it was almost a tundra-like drought, even despite everything. Despite the fact that they were not in the Arctic, it was this blustery, bitter, unforgiving, and unmoving cold. The smell of iron, though, I think that brings back the first memories of witnessing the work on her old family's farm. Long before the new life where she'd never wanted for much anymore. When she was young, I think, there was an old forge way in the back that her father used to just absolutely destroy himself working, trying to make whatever he could to support his family. And I think that forge smelled much the same, that wet, cold steel, that despite the fires of the hearth of the forge itself, it's hard to escape that kind of frigid, uncomfortable, almost claustrophobic cold. She can almost hear the ring of a hammer on hot steel come back into her mind.
What does Clementine hear? What does she prioritize as the voice speaks to her at the same time she hears her daughter scream at the other end of the train?
I think she momentarily snaps her head back in the direction of her daughter. But I think she's caught in hesitation. I think the choice she makes is struggling to make the choice. Is that familiar and yet strange and yet also tantalizing gravel in the back of the train car versus the screen, the far more familiar and far more horrifying sound of her daughter at the other end. I think the choice she makes is a lack of one. I think she's caught.
How do you feel, Clementine? After, for the second time tonight, losing the man that had drawn your intense focus because you thought of your daughter. How do you feel when this mysterious presence in this cargo hold, this thing that has like drawn you here, is no longer there?
First, I think there's this overwhelming frustration that almost borders on rage. This fascination, this thing that finally made sense and actually calmed her. She didn't have to fake the emotion anymore. She just felt calm and present and lost with that man. And now suddenly, the daughter that looks far too much like her lost husband is still drawing her away. And it just, I think something in her explodes. So much of the polite, so much of the wrangled, barely contained actual emotion bursts through about 15 of the 30 layers of subtext, makes some headway towards the surface, and she just breaks down. It's a mix of crying and screaming and anger and rage and upset and sorrow and loss and mourning. And while it takes her a minute in this guttural, nigh unfathomable spot of grief, she marches back towards the front of the train. She is on a warpath.
So here's the thing, what does Clementine do when she realizes Lila was not screaming in distress, but in pleasure, as she's kissing the man that reminded Clementine so much of her late husband? What you do?
I said 15 of the 30 layers of subtext disappeared. The iceberg has melted. The layers of forced intrigue, the things that she has made herself in order to survive, the things that she has compartmentalized, put away for so long just in order to make it through and be personable, are gone. And the ability to intellectualize the emotion is gone. At first, she can kind of conceive this is rage, this is sorrow, this is grief, this is, worry, this is anxiety. Words leave, and I think her face just goes blank. And I think she grabs the man by the back of the neck and rips him off of her daughter with all of the strength that she can muster. Just, it is not, again, the time for volume and the time to be able to scream or or burst out in rage has passed, is gone. And it is just a quiet, don't you ever lay a hand on my girl ever again, or so help me God, I will throw you off of this train with my bare goddamned hands. I think that's all she's left with.
I think that answers the prompt perfectly.
What was the prompt? Oh my god.
The Seven of Clubs. The path diverges, and none of the equipment nor their memories indicate which is the correct way. How is the path chosen? Who makes the final call? And do both of them agree? Not so much literal, but metaphorically.
No, yeah, that
was
tracks.
The cards know. The cards know. Just give me a second.
They just get it.
I gotta plug in here, or else I'm gonna wither and die away.
No. We can't have that.
Thank you. I'm surviving. I've been plugged in. Okay, so things have gotten pretty dire. Door has been opened. Daughter is kissing man. Threats have been said.
God.
And for the last time, we're going to draw a card. Now, this one doesn't matter. We still get a bad ending. But we'll just pick. It doesn't matter what is high, what is low. We can look over the prompts. We'll pick a prompt, and we'll end on that. We'll role play out a little scene.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. I got the Queen of Hearts.
I also got the Queen of Hearts.
No fucking shit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No choice. This is amazing. And that's what a perfect card to end on. Queen of Hearts. You need to rest. They will not listen and do not realize how dangerous it is if you proceed as you are. Do you convince them, or do you get hurt?
Do you get hurt?
Oh.
God.
Interesting. So here's the thing. Both of us pulled that card. So how do you want to decide who this prompt is talking about?
I don't know. Do you want to
roll?
You want to just like roll for it? Like grab a d6?
No,
and just
I don't.
Roll for high?
No dice.
No?
No masters.
No dice. You're right.
Draw a card.
Draw another card. Okay. Oh.
What did you get?
I didn't even mean to show it right away. Queen of Spades.
I got the King of Hearts.
So I think that makes it your decision then.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Deal. Okay, so where do we pick up?
I think a couple of days have passed.
Okay.
I think we're reaching our I think the train is finally pulling into the stop.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been a tense journey getting here. And I think we pick up as Clem and Lila are walking off of the train with their own personal cargo, going to meet her husband again.
I'm very glad you said that, because you really just did the actual thing that we're supposed to do. We're supposed to read the rank match, which is there is a famous landmark at least, and at least one of them knows about. And okay, let me read this again. There is a famous landmark at least one of them knows about, and was once meaningful to them. How different does it look now from before? How does the state of it now affect them? And what does the other say or do? So this landmark is our destination. It is the grave site where we will bury Daddy. Okay, so, that's so interesting. We get off the train. Middle of the night. Tired. I need some rest, Mama.
Completely.
There is,
We are forced.
I think one very specific detail is that man. I don't think we've seen him again.
I do not think so at all.
Like, oddly, I don't, like, everybody else we've probably seen. Breakfast.
It's a small train.
Yes.
It's hard to miss, and yet somehow he wasn't there for the rest of the trip.
Mama, I went to go grab things from the back of the train. It's strange back there. It's all I've been able to think about ever since I got our bags.
I think I know just what you mean, dearie. I had a moment a couple of nights ago that I was drawn there myself, and it is strange to say the least. I don't know, something about it is wrong, and yet also coercing.
I've been saying this ever since they have pushed this modern transportation on us. There is nothing wrong with a horse and a carriage. It's quaint. It's proper.
Not quite the wrought iron and steel that is all over this large machine, yeah.
Mama, don't even talk about it. No. It is. It gets all over everything. Makes my dresses black, and I need. I need a bed, and I need some rest. That's all. I think this was a terrible experience, and we should never travel by train again.
I know, I have an idea of how you must feel, dearie, but we are close. And I know a bit of rest does the body good, but so does a visit. So does a moment of clarity. You asked me just a couple of nights ago how I manage, how I'm not quite so bereft as you were. I'm not entirely certain I understand what has changed, but I know I need to see your father.
Now? It's the middle of the night, Mama. We need to go to bed. In the morning, we'll go. We'll go to the gravesite and. What is this look in your eyes?
I'm not sure, baby. But it is distressing to know we are so close and yet not there. It is Strange to be this close and not there.
I must be missing something. He talking all crazy like. Are you feeling okay?
I don't know. Just no, you're right. A bed and some sleep will do us well. You got your head on a fair bit straighter than I do at the moment. So let's follow your intuition. Find a bed. Find a place where we can rest. And in the morning, we'll go pick some lovely little flowers. And we will go visit your father. You're right, my dear. I appreciate that.
Well, I don't quite know what to do next.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know about all this travel arrangement and things like that. I mean, the men just took Daddy's coffin and put it on the car. I guess we go wherever it's going.
Let's make a few checks. And I think at this point, Clem is gonna look back towards the train, towards the station, and try to find some familiar faces, those that picked up her husband way back when they started the journey, what feels like 100 years ago. And she's gonna try to find the familiar faces and the familiar sight of the nicest mahogany coffin that has ever seen soil.
Delilah's chasing after her mother. There's this like obsession and like weird zombie-like quality that I don't think she's witnessed in Clementine before. Like it is like always Clementine who is proper, who is put together, who has an answer for everything. And she's just like in a whirlwind, confused, doesn't know what to like. You're going over to the coffin, and there was this pull as she kind of passes the last train car where they're unloading like all of the cargo. Like wherever Clementine is going is now not a concern of Lila, as she just like stares at like the open car, looking at all of like the boxes and the bags, and she remembers how cold it was. And I think absentmindedly just like starts walking.
I think Clementine finds the coffin and finds the bearers that helped them load it on and carefully bring it out. And there's a moment where she's lost in a similar obsessive trance as Lila. And she's there with her husband. She's almost tempted to throw back the lid of the coffin and just crawl in with him.
Oh, Mama! Oh, There's
Lila,
there's a man
Lila,
here.
What?
Somebody help!
What
Somebody
on
help!
earth do you mean?
Help!
Sprinting, running direct towards the sound of her daughter, into the storage cart.
Delilah is standing over the dead, cold body of that man, the man from that night that they hadn't seen again. His body is wrinkled and blue, and it looks like a Capri Sun that has been just fucking juiced.
They did not respect the pouch. Clementine is almost tackling her daughter. Lila, get over here. Do not
Help!
stay
Mama,
away
you
from
gotta
that
get
thing.
help. You gotta get help.
I'm here. We are going to get help. Come on now. And she's going to try to drag her daughter out. She is still staring at the bloated corpse of this man as they walk out, almost like bumping into pieces of cargo and essentially trying to rely on her daughter.
I can't leave.
What do you mean
I can't leave the car.
Lila, what do you mean you can't leave the car?
He won't let me.
What on earth do you mean he won't let you? That man.
I don't know.
It's dead. That is a.
No, not him. It sounds like Daddy. He's here somewhere. I can hear him. He says I'm his.
Where? At this point, all franticness to go outside is gone. The second Lila said it sounds like Daddy, there is just this switch. Where's that voice coming from?
I don't know where, Mama. When it speaks, it just echoes in my mind. But I don't want to leave. Why do you get to hear it, but I don't? It's because I've outgrown you, Mama.
What do you... what? Oh, God's green earth do you mean, child?
You can't teach me no more. He chose me.
Lila.
It's my turn.
Lila, we are leaving right now.
You lost him. You lost him.
You don't understand what you are talking about. You know nothing about your father. You know nothing.
Lila stabs you in the stomach. I don't know if you ever know with what, but as she releases, there's blood.
I think Clem's face is... Clem doesn't look down. She's just there making eye contact with her daughter.
There's so much of it. I didn't think there'd be so much of it.
Lila, baby, what?
It's all over my hands. It's all over me.
Lila, look at me, Lila. It's okay.
It's so dirty. I can't. It's so much of it.
What? It's so cold, babe. You were right. It's just so bitter cold in here.
It's cold in here, Mom. It's cold in here.
No, you should just... I think Clementine's words start to trail. She's locked in the sight of her daughter, her hand instinctively going to cover the puncture wound, but more... Instead of putting pressure down, instead of covering the wound, her hand is just beginning to go limp from loss of blood, and she, without meaning to, her hand dives into the wound further into her own body, trying to find something to hold on to as she starts to sink.
As you are reaching out, Lila turns towards that pockmarked iron door that has been wrenched open. And she stands up and she starts to say something. It sounds like it's like underwater almost.
Mm.
And then as you're like reaching to fill that loneliness, Delilah leaves, goes out the door.
I think Clementine is still trying to call after her, but the words just can't form. It's just these soft, barely formed vowels. As she starts to drift, her vision begins to tunnel. Light, first color goes, and then light as things shrink in aperture down to the size of a pinhead. Still, though, focused on her daughter if she is within line of sight until she's gone. And then nothing.
That was so happy. What a happy
so lovely
ending.
And happy and sweet.
Wow.
And just so, get Disney on the phone. We've got the next big teen hit.
Animated, I think.
Honestly, should be. It couldn't be done any other way.
Amazing.
Whoa.
Wait, it's great.
Incredible.
Now, okay, so usually this would be the time where we would talk about like draw something from the story we just told and then build the next fray and the next characters. But at the beginning, I told you that I had a surprise for you.
Oh, please.
So the surprise is you're just going to be playing yourself for the next session, for the next game.
That's incredible.
Yes. So the fray is it is the reality of the situation. It is the behind the mask, why it is called Guild Fantasmagoria in the first place. We're going to go to Scheherazade. You're going to be Keller, the storyteller in these bookmarkers. And then I don't think I'm going to tell you who I am until
that's
the next
so
session.
exciting.
I know, right? Okay, it's going to be great. You'll be fine. You can play yourself.
It'll be great.
Yes.
Easy task.
It'll be awesome. So, yeah, the fray is you realizing your and spoilers alert if you haven't seen the first or second season of Guild Fantasmagoria, but we are in hell. Sorry. Whoops. Spoilers. Yes, so like slowly figuring that out. I think you have heard a voice. Somebody, my characters, reached out to you and said, "Hey, by the way, Keller, this is all a lie. You're in hell." Great.
Incredible, yeah. I look forward to it.
Well, I look forward to playing with you one more time because that will be the finale of Guild Fantasmagoria Reincarnation. With that, sign off. Is there anything you want to plug, Keller?
At the moment, I'm quite all right. I tune in next time for the next episode. This is an incredible project. Join the Streaming Rainbow Discord. I got here thanks to the Streaming Rainbow Discord. So, what could you, random person out in the Ethernet, do if you decided to jump in and join and start playing these games and telling these stories with these incredible people?
Whoa. That was you just doing my job for me.
Yeah, might as well, like a little bit. You got to take the weight off your shoulders. I don't have anything to promote right now.
Well, okay. So I could plug the Inferno every other Friday live Twitch. Maybe on the the Moonbeam. We'll see if that gets working. That's brand spanking new. Live on YouTube too, where this is. So yeah, go watch Inferno, first canto. Will it be almost over? Like I said, this is filmed in the past. I don't know what the future will be, but
The days today.
yeah. Without further ado, bye.